Well, it's a new day in the old car hold, and well, I bet a lot of you guys are the same as me, and when the Rock Auto Man drops off all his packages, it kind of feels like Christmas morning. So we had a pile of stuff show up today, hopefully enough to get this small block Chevy running. I was going to go through and look through a bunch of junk and try and find bits and pieces, and I thought, let's see what's out there. So, brand new fuel pump, $15. Can't go wrong. I got some collector gaskets. These all came off Amazon. I think they were like $8. So we'll put those on. Those are nothing special. This is a deal I was pretty stoked on. I think it was $79 for a brand Chinesium, all-in-one HEI with plug wires. I don't know if they'll work. Oh, that was a pretty good deal. 2 days. So I spent the money because I'm endlessly buying distributors and stuff like that. So they had that one, and they had a mini one that needs a coil for like the same price. So we'll try that out for like I said, $60 or $80. $60 for the distributor, and then like $19 for the plug wire, and they had some sort of deal together. Because I'm endlessly buying distributors, and I think they're like $150 for the minis plus a coil, so it's like over $200. Oh, look at this slender shaft I got from my buddy Ryan over at Domar Trans. I might have left it in the truck a little long, but we'll slap that in there. This water pump, I put a coat of clear on it. It was on clearance on Rock Auto. $12. 12. So about $2. I think that's all we really got going on. I don't have a starter yet, but I think I'm just going to pillage one off this parts motor over there, and we'll put it back on after to get this thing running. Ultimately, once we get the Nova and stuff in here, it'll have a few parts we'll be taking off and putting the junkier stuff on here. Anywho, I'm going to crawl under here. It's frickin' freezing today. Drive shaft in. I'll bolt up the transmission because I got 2 new bolts for that. Put the collector gaskets in. I'll probably slide the starter in. The rest will be done up top. We still got to set the valves on this side. So yeah, well, I don't know. We'll figure something out. We got to roll it over and get the starter in. Like I said, so we can find top dead center, put the distributor in, put on some miscellaneous pieces, make this work. Should be a good one. Okay, so I've been freezing my butt off under the car for a while, but we got it all dialed together. Exhaust on, transmission hooked up, shifter hooked up, drive shaft in. I wired up the starter, put the starter in, put the battery in, just a few little things like that. So now we're going to do, well, 2 things at once. We're going to set the valves. So with a hydraulic lifter, you want to have the rocker snug down so there's no play in the push rod. This one has, for example. And once it gets there, you give it a half a turn or something like that. Now there's a bunch of different ways to set the lash and the valves on these things. And it's on the internet. You can kind of, on the compression stroke. Basically, at the end of the day, you want the lifter riding on the base circle of the cam, and that's where you want to set your adjustment. So you obviously don't want the camshaft to be trying to open the valve. So the simplest way I've ever found to do it, I set the thing at TDC, and anything that's loose, so that one's loose, that one's loose, that one's tight, that one's tight. So the ones that are tight are obviously in a rotation where they're trying, well, they are opening the valve. So in this case, this one's opening the intake valve. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go around and snug up all of them that are loose. You just want to take a slop out. And once we get all the slop out, just go real quick here. This is a 4-step process, but it's easy for idiots like me. Very quick tight, that one's good. Okay, so now we got that. Now I'm going to do is I marked the balancer for a quarter, so I give it a quarter turn. So we'll do that 3 more times, and we're guaranteed to have everything taken care of. Now once it's all just snugged up, then we'll give everything a half turn of preload. I nailed it on that one. Snug, snug. Now this one's loose, which was snug. Good. 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 We'll call that good. Another little. Okay, so now they're all set. Now they're all going to need a quarter or a half turn with a preload on them, or 3/4, whatever you want to do it all, whatever your grandpa told you. Now the best way of checking this is you're going to watch when one valve's going down and then it wants to come up, and then the other one, just when it starts, you can just check that one again. Okay, so that one's just starting, so you know that's now in the base circle. So it's just a little bit loose. Not bad. So there we go, we tightened it up. That was 1/8 of a turn or so. Not even, that's loose. Come on, Canadian Tire ratchet. So that's tight. So now once you can't put any movement in it, half turn, she's set. So you can just kind of do a couple little test ones if you want, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all these with a half turn on them, and then I'll give a quick double check to a couple of them, and we'll call her a day. And then when we come back, this one's a little tight, we'll set top dead center. Okay, we're gonna go off the tripod with this one. Now what I'm gonna do is I have to hold the camera with my trigger finger, but this, obviously that's just gonna crank the motor over. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put our finger over #1 spark plug. There's no plugs in it. We're going to bang it and just kind of in little bursts. And when I have compression stroke and starts to blow my thumb off, we'll know we're on compression stroke of cylinder #1. There we go. So actually it was right there. I felt it. And you can see that's the timing mark. This big V right there, that's going to be top dead center. So well, I went past it. We want that right there. So I'll just grab it with a wrench and we'll put it right back. And actually we'll probably want it kind of, probably like here, whatever these marks are. That's probably 0, 2, 4, so that's probably like 6, so like 8's probably that one right there. We'll set this line right 8 degrees and we'll set the initial timing at 8 degrees. All right, so we got the motor where we want it, but you know what? I'm going to starting to get tired, that's the problem. Before I put the distributor, I'm going to do that tomorrow. I want to put the water pump on, and I want to put on the fuel pump, because those are both going to take us a little bit of silicone. We'll get that in there, we'll let that set up overnight, so I can double check my intake manifold, all my, my water pump, fuel pump, everything's going to be sealed up. I've already done an oil change to it. Then we can drop the distributor in, valve covers on, plug wires, then we just got to plumb the fuel, which is very simple, and this thing should snap to life with a little bit, radiator hose and a few things like that. But it's probably a little after midnight. I'm getting tired. And I think all I have left in me is putting a water pump and fuel pump on. Deal? I know it's not looking any different, but I am working, I swear. But we're good. Actually, these have gaskets already on them, so that's good. I just need some nuts, 1/4-inch nuts. Get those snugged down. We're not going to run a pulley because I don't have anything right now. Water neck's the other issue. Hopefully I can find one of those tomorrow. Like I said, it didn't come by Rock Auto. Yeah, but I mean tomorrow, distributor in, fuel to it, and 12 volts to the coil. A little bit of coolant, it should be a runner. I'm going to bed. Next day, I feel way more motivated. I did just a little bit. I put the radiator in with my little clamps, are pretty sweet. I used these universal hoses. Look at this one. Man, do I love these universal hoses. Honestly, I just like using them because I know it pisses Martsky off. I made the throttle linkage work pretty clanky, but it'll do its thing. Got to put a return spring on it. So I think what we're going to do now, I'm going to set the camera up. I'm going to go and bolt on the valve covers, double check all the intake, water pump, fuel pump, all that sort of stuff. I did put plugs in the intake and the 1-cylinder head. So it's ready for coolant, which we're going to use the coolant that I drained out of that big block in that bin right there. So fill it with coolant. There's oil in it. We're at top dead center. What else we got going on? Double check everything. We should be able to drop in a distributor, fill it full of fuel, eyeball the timing. I got to put plugs and wires in, which I have, and then it should run. And then clean it all up, do a few little last minute things, and it should be a driver. That's the plan. I got to jam because I just got home. I want to do this for a little bit. Got snow. I got to do a bunch of snow removal. There's just never any free time around here, you know? But let's jam. Okay, so now we're going to put in this HEI. Now, a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but this seems like this is a complicated section for some people. And it is if you don't know what the heck you're doing, but I've done it a few times now. I like to do a video of it, or part of the video every time, so hopefully someone can kind of get it, because these can go in wrong, and it's popping through the carburetor, and it's 180 out, and it's the most frustrating part because you spent all this time and all this money, and something so simple is a problem. Now, where we left it yesterday, we're on top dead center at whatever we are, 6 or 8 degrees advanced. That's about where we want to be. Now, this distributor is going to go in the vacuum advance on the passenger side, the tack and battery connections here, and this will go like that. It'll go in, it grounds itself with the hold down. So that's all good, and you want to make sure you don't drop the cap and break it, and have a gasket there. Did I break it? Nope. No, we're good. Oh, yeah, I broke it right in half. That's awesome. So we'll be putting a brand new cap on. Anyway, for this, cap only kind of goes on one way. Oh, I've got myself all jumbled here. There's a little square it fits in. So this is what we're going to use as number 1, and this is where number 1 is going to be on the base itself. Now what we want to do is when we're threading it in or pushing it in, this has to mesh with the oil pump and the cam. You want to make sure as it's going to go in, it's going to want to turn. You want to make sure when it ends, you're kind of lined up with that line right there. That way it'll be at number 1, and then you can adjust it whatever way you want to mess with the timing. So that's what we're going to do. I don't know if I should change this right away or not. I think I have another cap. We'll go looking. So we got her dropped in now. As you can see, the mark we have with the rotor facing, and you're kind of right in the middle of the swing. That way you can advance and retard the timing. So that's how you do it. So that's a good starting point. Anyways, we'll have to play with making it crackle, but it should be fine. So this is what I did. She broke, and if it breaks, it's no bueno. So we got another coil and stuff like that. Spares, really it just needs a cap, not the end of the world. So luckily I have this. A good used cap, hopefully, and we'll just, maybe we'll switch the coil out actually, you know what? I should do it real quick. It just, there's 2 screws come out, the new piece goes in, and then the wires go right there. So we'll do that. I'll get this thing, the cap on, and then it's just a matter of hooking up one wire to it, which will be this one, I believe. That's tack wire, maybe? I don't know what that is. But that'll give it power, 12 volt. Well, the other one must have been tack or something. Anyway, so we'll do that. I'll get everything kind of cleaned up. Then in theory, we should be able to put some gasoline in the carburetor, and it should fire to life, set the timing, a few little things like that, and life will be good. Okay, I just got back to push much snow around. Cleaned up some of the stuff, not all of it, because I think we're still going to need some. Battery's hooked up. Got some fuel in the bowls. We should be kind of good to go. Everything's just kind of scattered to the wind. Just a little. We got the timing eyeballed. Let's see what happens. I think we're going to try and start under the hood. And, well, I am a little concerned the motor's going to be a little noisy. I tried to roll it over and get some oil pressure and stuff, but we'll see what happens here. Put it in the way. Sounds like it's got exhaust leak for sure, but it is running. Definitely a little noisy, but considering it's sat for a while, I think it's okay. Kind of sounds like it's got a massive vacuum leak out of something. There's no, I don't think there's any open ports here. Everything looks sealed. What's going on there? I'll try it again. Maybe it's just unhappy and cold. Okay, transmission works, clearly low on fluid. I don't have a dipstick tube in there. Oh man, my eyes. Because the one I have is from like a van or something. It's definitely noisy on that side. This motor it wasn't clattering when I had it 2 years ago. But it had a dead miss, so I don't know. It needs to be driven a little bit. We'll see. Also, I mean, it's got coolant in it, but no drive system, so it's not circulating any coolant. I don't know, too crazy, but I'll clean it all up. I can always double check the valves there. When you rev it, it sounds kind of liftery, like the RPM goes with it. Usually when it's a bottom end noise, it's wooka wooka, but then you goose it, it kind of goes away. So that's what I'm hoping anyway. Yeah, put some ATF in it, drop her on the ground. I don't think it's leaking anything. And see what the heck's going on there. It definitely seems like there's a vacuum leak when I was putting my hand over it. It was kind of acting funny. So we'll get to the bottom of that and drive it out of the shop. Okay. I did a few things. I put some more ATF in it. I didn't have the right stick, so I just ran a 3/8 fuel line in. I put a little bit of ATF in the motor oil because that always helps. It sounded like there was an exhaust leak, so I went through and tightened everything up. I think it's down at the collector, so I might have to get that later. So it's not, I mean, nothing is too hot here. We've been running it a little bit, but we'll give it just one more little thing. I think we're going to deal with getting it out tomorrow because it's now dark, cold, scary out there. But anyway, just start it up. So that's good. Put her in gear. Spins. So that's good. It does have forward, you'll have to trust me. And it's got a little bit of moisture in it. Now I'm not too worried about it. The motor's a little sucked out, but honestly, sitting for 2 years in the garage gets hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. Probably needs a couple oil changes or get up to temperature. It sounds to me more like an exhaust clatter down there. The tickety tick is not as bad. So I'm going to call that a win for now. Motors need a little bit of love, a little bit of little revs. So I might get a little seafoam for it tomorrow. Maybe let's do an oil change on it. You know, oil's cheap, so get up to temperature again, pull the plug, let it all go out, and then hopefully I'll get if there was some moisture in there. I mean, I put one new head gasket on it. Yeah, it seems good. Had oil pressure in the truck, like 30 or 40 pounds. I remember driving around with that, so there's no issues there. But I got a pile of cleaning up to do. It's late. We got a live stream tonight, being Saturday night. Every Saturday, live stream, 7:30 Central. And I'll let this thing cool off, put the battery charger on it, and we'll finish the video off tomorrow. But who doesn't want a running, driving, plain Jane 4-wheel wagon? Honestly, I kind of want to keep it now. I don't know about the hood, though. You guys might be right. So it is the next day. Got my outdoor gear on because I stole some bits off the Nova, and unfortunately it's terrible outside. Ugh. So I robbed a few bits off of it, just the front dress and everything. At the end of the day, this motor's coming out tonight or tomorrow, so I thought it was kind of irrelevant. It's all coming up anyways, and we have stuff for the big block. So at least now it's turning the water pump, it's circulating the coolant. This is now basically a complete driver. We need a transmission dipstick properly. It's got no oil dipstick, or the tubes in there, no dipstick, electric fan, and a trans cooler. I mean, realistically, I think we're pretty good. Yeah, this actually sounds not too bad today. We're in park, yep. Look at that. I put a little plug in. I put a PCV valve in it, so it's not blowing nearly as much blow-by right through everything. This sounds pretty good. Idling a little fast there, but hey, we're good. Look at that. Everyone's happy. With my finger. Bring her down just a little bit. There we go. Oh, battery. Anyway, my plan is to drive this thing outside. We'll drive it outside, park it out there, clean the garage up. Hopefully the Nova will start. We'll bring it in here, we'll start a new video ripping that motor apart. So, hopefully enjoy it. But I'm stoked on this thing, runs good. Actually, I think I like it more now. It's with a little small block and a nice little driver. Wish that flat hood wasn't completely frozen, but we store stuff outside. It's that's what happens. But this hood will go on for now. We'll park it outside and we'll deal with it well, down the road. Well, we got the wagon out. I am confident the Nova will start. Pretty confident. My real issue is going to be all this frickin' snow we got and Mickey Thompson street flicks. But I'm hoping if we can just back her out. I should have closed this. Oh well. Gentle, gentle. I'm hoping I can just back her out in the lane, get a run at it. Oh wow. Okay. And it'll come right in. So we'll get this brushed off with snow and hopefully it'll start. Second thought, we're just gonna Ace Ventura it because that's froze. Oh. So get a little oil pressure before we start pumping it. Oh, there we go. Come on. Oh yeah. Oh, she's cold. Where's reverse? I don't really want to wear out too much because we got coolant in the motor, but it ain't circulating. Where are we going here? Oh, I'm sorry, girl. She's cold. Whew. All right, well, I'm gonna let this melt off. Could have brushed it off, but you know what? It's cold out. I've had enough. I'll let the wagon back there, my truck back there. We got a pile of garbage. And we'll be out later today, but on a new video to scavenge the motor out of this thing. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, I guess it's probably just, yeah. Thanks for watching. Like the video. I'll see you on the next one.